When Tomorrow Comes by Tony Gagliardi. Chapter 5. Isla Solara. The journey from Crescent Cove had been calm and clear. Tomorrow slipped over the morning tide like a bird in flight, passing rocky outcrops, scattered sea stacks, and flashes of flying fish. The children took turns at the wheel under Leo's watchful eye, while adults sipped coffee and traced islands on a weathered map. There was laughter, excitement, and the hush of something unknown drawing closer. By mid-morning, the Tomorrow had arrived at Isla Solara and now floated at anchor in a gentle cove. The waters shimmered in layered hues of turquoise, cobalt, and emerald. Her polished hull gleamed as mast banners fluttered in the salt-kissed breeze. Leo stepped forward, surveying his crew and passengers. "Welcome to Isla Solara, buccaneers. Marina's got the diving gear for the deep stuff. The rest of you, masks and fins for exploring the shallows. Everyone in the water gets a buddy." Excitement buzzed across the deck as the kids adjusted their snorkels and fins, their laughter rising through the humid morning air. Marina crouched, checking her scuba gear with calm efficiency. Eva double-checked her waterproof camera slung over her shoulder, her face lit with anticipation. "This cove has some of the oldest reef structures in the region," Eva said. "There are legends of strange shapes down there, ruins maybe. Keep your eyes open." "Do you think we'll find real treasure here?" Luca asked, all geared up and ready to jump in. Maya tightened the straps on her mask. "What if we find a sea monster instead?" she asked, only half joking. "What if a sea monster finds us?" Danny added, half worried, half wondering. Leo's voice carried from the helm, stern but warm. "Keep your heads above water when necessary and your eyes open." Nearby, Sam prepped his shiny new drone, checking connections with the methodical focus of a systems engineer. Noah studied it with wide eyes. "Is that the one with the 4K camera?" "Sure is," Sam grinned. A few steps away, DJ pulled out binoculars from his weathered duffel bag, scanning the cove with a marine mechanic's practical eye. "Never hurts to have analog backup," he muttered with a grin. Near the stern, Matteo knelt beside his weathered sea chest, fingers tracing its brass fittings as he checked the contents with quiet reverence. He glanced once toward the children, then back to whatever lay hidden within, his weathered face unreadable. Within minutes, splashes echoed across the cove as the kids slipped into the crystalline water. Marina and Eva guided them toward the reef beds, the kids' fins moving in steady rhythm as they followed. Beneath the surface, another world opened before them. Massive coral formations rose in brilliant colors, schools of fish flashed like scattered coins, and ribbons of sunlight danced across the sandy bottom in golden webs. The kids swam together in their buddy pairs, Luca staying close to Danny while Maya kept an eye on Isla. The underwater world felt magical. Coral towers rose from the seafloor like the remnants of an ancient city. Too regular, too deliberate to be nature's design. Something about their angles drew Eva closer. Then she noticed something stranger. Beneath the coral, block-like foundations jutted from the reef, weathered stone aligned in unusual geometric patterns. Faint lines ran across one face, like writing half swallowed by time and tide. Eva dove deeper for a closer look, her mask fogging with excitement. She kicked back up, gasping. "That's no reef down there," she called to the others. "That's architecture." Marina surfaced nearby, face bright with excitement. "Eva, you need to see this up close." She gestured toward the structures below. Luca, Maya, and Isla gathered nearby, staring in amazement behind their masks. Even underwater, they could sense something significant about these formations, something that made their treasures feel strangely warm against their skin. From the helm, Leo watched them in the water below, his eyes lingering on Luca and Danny. Everyone was his responsibility, but those two, he'd been distant with them for too long. Seeing them laugh and explore together stirred something in his chest. Maybe this trip would finally give them a chance to connect. Near the midships rail, Sam launched his drone with a satisfied grin. Noah bounced beside him, transfixed by the live feed on the controller's screen. "Can I fly it?" Noah asked. "Let me make sure everything's working properly first," Sam replied. DJ appeared beside them. "And after we make sure it doesn't crash into a seagull," he said with a grin. Sam pulled out his tablet, connecting it to his controller. "Here, you can watch on the bigger screen while I fly it," he said, handing it to Noah. The drone rose with a soft hum, its camera sweeping across the cove in lazy circles as it captured the swimmers below, dark shapes moving like mermaids through the crystal water. Matteo appeared from the stern, his chest tucked under one arm, muttering something low and rhythmic, like a chant or a memory. He gave Leo a quiet nod, then slipped below deck without a word. No one else noticed. They were all transfixed by the live feed. Sam guided the drone toward the cliffs that framed the cove along Isla Solara's coastline. At first, the shore looked ordinary, windswept rocks and tangled vegetation. But as the drone climbed higher, the footage sharpened, revealing something that made both Sam and Noah lean closer to their screens. Stone pillars jutted from the jungle canopy, too geometric to be natural, too weathered to be recent. "Are those old buildings?" Noah whispered. Sam zoomed in, the camera focusing on crumbling walls and weathered stone shapes barely visible through the overgrowth. It didn't look like ordinary rock formations. As he panned the drone across the overgrowth, something made him stop. "What's that?" Noah pointed at the screen. A tall figure stood among the shadows, cloaked in dark, tattered fabric that seemed to absorb the tropical sunlight. It remained perfectly still, like a statue forgotten by time. "Looks like a statue," Sam murmured, adjusting the zoom, until it turned. Slowly, deliberately, the figure faced the drone. From beneath its hood, it raised one arm in a gesture that could have been greeting or warning. Noah gasped. "What is that?" "Well, that wasn't on any tourist brochure," DJ muttered. Leo appeared behind them, drawn by Noah's gasp. The feed began to break up. Static lines crawled across the screens. The drone jerked sideways as Sam lost control, then the signal cut to black. "What the hell?" Sam stabbed at the controls, but it was too late. The feed was gone. Sam cradled his drone controller, staring at the black screen. Noah huddled beside him, no longer excited but genuinely frightened. DJ stood nearby, his usual grin replaced by something more serious. "That was no ordinary equipment failure," he said quietly, grabbing his binoculars to scan the distant cliffs. Leo's gaze swept from the dead drone screen to the darkening horizon. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Below the water's surface, Marina's blood went cold. Something massive had just glided past the edge of her vision, too big, too silent, casting a shadow that shouldn't exist. She grabbed Eva's arm, both women suddenly aware they were not alone down there. Without a word, they kicked desperately for the surface. Eva surfaced first, ripping off her mask as she scanned the churning sky. "Everyone back to the ship," she shouted to the kids still snorkeling near the reef. Marina cut through the water with powerful strokes, herding the children toward the swim ladder. "Move! All of you now!" The kids kicked desperately toward the tomorrow, their earlier joy swept away by the urgency in the adults' voices. Maya helped Isla up the ladder while Danny scrambled aboard beside them. Luca followed, joining the others, all of them dripping and wide-eyed. Leo's weathered hands gripped the helm tighter as his eyes swept the horizon. Years of sailing these waters had taught him to read the sea's moods, and right now, every instinct screamed danger. "Stormline incoming!" Leo's voice cut across the cove like a cracked whip. "All hands, secure the lines. Get everyone aboard now." The sky had turned dark and threatening. A wall of storm clouds rose on the eastern horizon, moving faster than any natural weather should. Thunder rolled across the water, low and ominous. The first gust struck the ship, cold air and sea spray sending loose gear skittering across the deck. Leo fired up the engines while the two local crew members wrestled with the mainsail, their movements sharp with practiced efficiency. The anchor broke free with a growl. The Tomorrow pitched hard, waves lifting her bow as the wind howled like something alive. She lurched as she cleared the cove, bow cutting through the building swells. And just before they were forced to face the storm, a low vibration resonated deeply through the ship's hull. Like the island itself had exhaled them into the tempest. Behind them, Isla Solara quickly faded into mist and shadow. But as the island disappeared, something lingered. The feeling that whatever they saw in the cliffs, whatever had stirred beneath them, was watching them leave.